Hi all, welcome to another episode of Sez the Vet. I am Sez. So we're coming to the end of lamb rearing season here in New Zealand. So I wanted to quickly chat through how to wean your lamb or your bottle fed kid safely. Make sure you know what you're up to. Do not always trust the back of the packet, okay? So stick around for that. Hi guys, thanks for checking back in. Dr Sez here. Before we jump straight into it, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the emblem down the bottom of the screen to do that. So weaning is a peak risk time for seeing cases of bloated lambs and goat kids. It's often done really poorly. There are a lot of factors to consider when getting ready to wean from a bottle to grass. So I put together a bit of a safe weaning checklist so that you can mark off to make sure you're doing it safely and that your little one is ready to go. So let's just dive straight in from here. Firstly, let's address age. Now on farms, keeping in mind, lambs are weaned at about 4 months old. Now with our bottle fed babies, the risk of abomasal bloat is so high that, to be honest, we're always aiming for early age weaning, which can be done anytime from about 6 weeks old, but aim for about 8 weeks, unless it's absolutely necessary. You know, they've had ongoing gut issues or something like that. Secondly, let's address development. Now, age is all good and well, but the reason that we actually say 8 weeks is so that the adult chamber of their stomach, remember they've got 4 chambers, the adult chamber has had enough time to develop and get ready for grown-up food, you know, grass and hay, hard food. But they need to be offered hard food, hay, grass, meal, from just a few days old to actually get that grown-up chamber of the stomach, which is called the rumen, well developed by 8 weeks, okay? It is safe to wean this young if and only if they are already grazing consistently, have had access to meal or hard food from a week or so old, and will drink water from a container. Now, an easy way to tell how well developed the rumen is, that grown-up chamber, is have you seen them lying down chewing their cud? This is a sign that the rumen's working away well. If we switch them from full milk diet to just grass, all of a sudden, then we get indigestion issues leading to a type of bloat called ruminal atony. Third on the checklist, make sure they are up to date with their vaccines, ideally an 8 or 10-in-1 vaccine to cover some of the bacterial causes of bloat. Now, if they're on mum, a 5-in-1 or a 6-in-1 vaccine should be absolutely fine because we're not too worried about abomasal bloat. It doesn't really happen when they're drinking from mum. But if they're bottle fed, I always recommend the broader spectrum vaccines just to give that wee bit of added extra protection against bloat. So they should have had their first one and then a booster 4 weeks later after the first to be fully up to date. Fourth on the checklist, you should have been adding a probiotic to the milk of a safe, non-gas producing bacteria, even for just a week or so before you want to wean, okay? If this is all new news to you, then please jump over to my channel and make sure that you've looked at my other clips on abomasal bloat and dietary diarrhea as well. But basically, we want this good bacteria that doesn't produce gas to displace the gas producing species so that we don't get a sudden overproduction of gas when we wean them. This is not acidophilus yogurt. Acidophilus yogurt has very specific use with yogurtizing milk to create sour milk, but should not be used as a probiotic added at the time of feeding. We want a bacteria such as Bifidobacterium animalis, all right? Pop into your vet clinic and see what they can offer. Fifth on the checklist, if you have been yogurtizing your milk, turning it into sour milk prior to weaning, that is ideal. That is in fact the only proven method so far to decrease the incidence of abomasal bloat. For more info there, again, jump over to my video on abomasal bloat and check that one out. Now my sixth point is to get to the nitty-gritty of how to wean, and this is so important. We need to drop down the number of feeds without increasing the volume of the feeds. Now, different brands of milk powders say different things on the back of the packet, okay? There are some brands out there that have you remove a feed but increase the volume of the others. Does that make sense? So for example, there's some brands that will say reduce from 3 feeds of 300 ml to 2 feeds of 450 ml. I strongly disagree heavily. These increased volumes give a massive hit of lactose to the belly all at once and increase the risk of abomasal bloat. And it is not at all a natural way to go. A mother ewe would naturally start kicking the lamb away, not letting it drink as long as her milk production petered off throughout the lactational season. So wean by reducing the number of feeds without increasing the volume. Just remove 1 feed throughout the day. And as a final note, I do not recommend watering down the milk. This is a recipe for gut upsets and again does not reflect what would naturally be occurring if they were drinking from mum. For more info on dietary diarrhea, nutritional gut upsets, please go over and check out my other video there. And on that note, please do not feed water from a bottle. Oh my goodness, every year I see water toxicity, especially in little goat kids who have the smallest, most fragile red blood cells of all of our domesticated species. They are very prone to water toxicity. Don't do it, it's not necessary. I see the issue in lambs as well. It will make them pee red and it can kill them. They need access to water from a flattish container. They tend not to like walls around their face, so avoid buckets. And lush grass to graze, which is, to be fair, where they're actually going to get the majority of their water requirements from, especially at this time of year when the grass is dewy and lush. All right, guys, nice, quick and easy there for you today. Don't forget to subscribe and ask your questions on the YouTube channel so I can see them and answer them, and I will definitely do that for you. If you've got any requests, don't forget to throw those up there, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.